So, thank you for following me into part two. As I was saying, the dream really showed me something good was going to happen eventually. And I told my grandma about that dream when I woken up from it, and she was like, "Don't forget those numbers," because I want to say I was in my mid 20s, maybe to late 20s in the dream, and because it was like 24 and maybe 26 or 7 and then 30 or 31, something like that. And she said, "Don't forget those numbers." She said they're going to mean something to you. And I said, "Okay, Grandma, I won't." And I never did. I never forgot that dream. And supernatural occurrences, I'm no stranger to supernatural occurrences. I'm really not. In fact, me and my I'm just gonna call him husband. Me and my husband have had crazy incidences over time. I mean, even in an apartment that he was renting for a period, that some very interesting things happened. In fact, some dreams were very revealing to me. Um, Me and him both worked overnights at different jobs, and I would stay with him at his apartment a couple of times out of the week. I'd probably say maybe a couple of days out of the week, every week. And so since we worked overnight, we slept during the day. And there was actually something really nasty there. There were oddball smells, like rotting smells there. There was, just at one time we heard running up and down the stairs. I mean, we heard doors open and close. I think I heard a door open Oh, I saw a door open one time, and it was when I was in the room, and I thought that he was coming in the room, but it wasn't even him. He told me later, it was like, no, that wasn't even me. I was like, oh shit, we were fighting all the time. I mean, it was just weird. It was super weird. I had actually bought a couple of baby monitors, and I plugged those bitches in and actually caught some very interesting things at one time or another, because I had the receiving end at on the bottom stairs. It was like a townhome or something like that. So we had upstairs and downstairs all to ourselves. And so I had the receiving end on the bottom floor, and I was asleep in the room. And I remember before falling asleep, and this was right after an argument that we had. Before falling asleep, uh, I remember I saw like a silhouette. Like I remember seeing the door kind of open a little bit, and then I saw um like a silhouette of a person like walk in, and all of this was casted onto the ceiling, so I could see all of this happening, and I assumed that it was him. And so I just kind of closed my eyes, went back to sleep. And then I started hearing things over the baby monitor. I don't know how much time had passed. I'd probably say about an hour to 2 hours. I was knocked out for a bit. And then all of a sudden, I hear what sounds like him, and I think he was downstairs grabbing something to drink or whatever, and then he came back up. And it was quiet for a minute, and then yeah, you could hear traffic. But the thing is that I heard breathing on the monitor, and it got really loud. It was like that, like just it just got so loud, and then it woke me up, and I'm like, what the fuck? And so I got up and I went into the spare room, and I that's where he had his computer and everything. And I said, babe. And he takes his headphones off. He said, "What's wrong?" And I said, "Were you just downstairs?" And he said, "Yeah, just a few minutes ago." And I said, "What were you doing down there? Were you breathing into the baby monitor?" He goes, "No." I was like, "You sure?" He goes, "No, what I did was I went to the refrigerator, grabbed a drink, and that's all I did. And I came right back upstairs, and it was just literally 2 minutes ago." And he said, "Why?" And I told him what happened, and he's like, he has like this troubled, puzzled look on his face, like, what? And then as we're standing there, understand we're standing right at the top of right where the stairs are. I can't think of what that's called right now, but right at the beginning of the stairs, and we could hear footsteps running up and down the steps. And I'm thinking, I mean, you heard that, right? And he's like, yeah. And these smells were just ridiculous. And these smells always had a tendency to move out the way. And it took me for damn ever to place where I had smelled this before, because throughout the years I had smelled this before, just random times. And I had realized, oh, I have smelled this before. I know what this is. And it took a minute for me to come to, but I finally remembered. I was like, "Oh, I know what this smell is," and unfortunately, this is some sort of demonic entity. So, it was a very interesting, or it was a malevolent spirit. It was something, and this energy. No, no, I'll have to tell y'all another story sometime. Um, and I'm going to save it for another time because there is a continuation to this. But I did find out, I did confirm that it was something demonic. And understand I had spent some time in the past as a practitioner. So, um, anyway, with that being said, I think I'm going to close the introduction of the podcast. If I haven't mentioned my name is Elisa, and I'm very glad that you're here to listen to some of my crazy stories. Because guys, I have a lot of crazy stories. Um, I just got to say that the algorithm on these apps like Instagram and YouTube and all these different apps, TikTok. I mean, TikTok's one of the worst in my opinion, but it is so limited. The algorithm will limit you so bad unless you pay something. And I'm not doing that. I'm just no. No, I'm not going to invest into an app like that. I will invest in myself because that's what I do. So, anyway, I appreciate y'all listening to me and welcome to my podcast. And I hope to see you guys in the next episode.